y'all? I'm Kanisha.
I'm Tony.
And we're the Prothos.
I'm Rebecca.
Terry.
And we are the Skinners.
I'm Chris.
I'm Arian.
And we are the A-Team.
And this is
The Marriage Plug.
The Marriage Plug. The Marriage Plug.
Like a fairy tale, but this ain't a movie. Yeah. The way you make me feel, you do something to me. Yeah. I want my hands locked in yours with everything in
So welcome to today's episode. We're going to talk about losing yourself.
We're going to be talking about losing yourself within a marriage and some topics that are surrounding that.
Losing yourself.
Losing yourself in marriage, losing yourself as a parent.
We just want to kind of see, like, who are you, who were you, so forth and so on. Super good topic, especially for people who are just getting married, or even if you've been in a relationship for a while and you feel like you're just completely turning into a different person.
Losing yourself can be a hurdle.
Sometimes it's good to center yourself and then understand who you were before, and then that'll help you remember who the person you married and who you got married to. That'll help you stay in love. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so I have a couple questions, right?
Which are you first? So who are you?
Like, what title do you think comes first?
Are you Terry first? Are you husband first? Are you daddy first?
In a marriage, like, what title do you think comes first? Because I really, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm also me, right? I have my own personality.
Which one would you say is first?
I am a man first. I'm a man.
A man's man.
Yeah.
I'm me first. I'm Tony first. But I still know that I'm a husband and I'm a father. When we first got married, I felt like I was a husband first, and then I was Tony afterwards. Being able to learn how to prioritize for me was something that was challenging for me, because I've never been married before. So, I mean, this is something nobody talked to me about, like, hey, still, do the things that you like doing, working out, or whether kicking it with your boys. You're still trying to figure out the time, per se. But for me, that was something that was difficult for me. Now we 8 years in, so
I'm a man. I think that's super important for me to understand, because it helps me to remember that before all of these additional titles and stuff like that, before I'm anybody, I'm Christopher Scott Aaron. That's who I am.
Okay, so you're Terry first, and why is that?
Because Terry is what makes the other two. Like, Terry makes the father and the husband, so I can't be the husband or the father without being myself.
I would say at this point now, Rebecca's first. Definitely my individual self, because we both said at the beginning of our marriages that we did not want to be like just one way. I don't know how to say it. Like, I didn't want to lose my personal identity within this marriage. Like, I still wanted him to go hang out with his boys. I wanted to be able to hang out with my sorors and my friends. That was definitely something that we discussed a lot at the beginning. So we're our individual selves first.
So even before I was married, I was a consistent, stable, loyal person.
Yeah.
Even now that I'm married, I believe I'm the same way. So me, I'm Arian, Nicole Aaron, first. Of course, I'm a woman, but outside of that, I'm a person who likes to stay true to themselves. I'm a loyal person. I'm not necessarily swayed by what people think of me or what people say of me. If anything, I will say that has been like my number one or my golden point that I agree or like to agree that has been a stabilizing force in my life.
It's like the airplane analogy where they say, you have to make sure you're strapped in and safe first. Yeah. Before you go and help someone else.
How do you balance being a wife or being a mother, being a husband, being a father in the marriage? How do you balance those different titles?
It is hard to balance being mom, being babe, being Miss Skinner, being all of the other things that I am. I think even though you were like joking, like prayer is a whole thing. Like, there was a devotional that I went through that was called like my blessings are stressing me out. It was a devotional for moms and wives, of course, and it was discussing, like, I prayed for these things, but there's so much happening that I am losing myself within it. And so like I would cry almost every night reading it, but happy tears because I'm like, yes, somebody, it's not just me, you know what I mean? It's not just me going through it. And so the way I've balanced that definitely is through prayer, through devotionals, the word of God, but then also making an effort when it's time to be whatever the situation is calling for. So I will be 100% mom when Trey is like right in front of me, like, come on, mom, like, let's go. And then 100% his wife. Now, the only time that those two are interrupted is if I'm trying to be wife and Trey is like not cooperating, like he wakes up in the middle of the night or wakes up early when I'm trying to be wife.
I am Kanisha first. I have my own personality. I bring my own spice, whatever you want to call it, to the relationship. And then all these other things come after that. So wife, mother, graduate, social worker. I'm a social worker by trade, by the way. All that stuff comes after that, because if I don't take care of me, Kanisha, I'm nothing to my husband, to my daughter, none of that. So I wholeheartedly believe that you have to make sure that you maintain yourself first.
I definitely put wife first. Luckily, who I am kind of merges into how I am as a wife. And I guess what makes a good wife or a good significant other is being that consistent person and that stable, balanced person. So I think my roles kind of balances each other.
Yeah.
What you think?
That's interesting. I put being a man first. I put being a man, being an individual first. But I agree with you, because even though I'm saying I'm a man and I'm an individual, being a man and being an individual comes completely encapsulated with you, right? So we're probably saying the same thing in a different way, I guess, from different perspectives, like we have so many different times.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
For me, communication. Like I had a lot of different challenges. Like I said,
Communication.
you know, as far as communication and being a husband, because I didn't know how to prioritize being the husband and then being me. But now, you know, communicating has been a huge factor for me. I have gotten a whole lot better with that. I mean, have I?
You have gotten really good with that. He's almost too good. He be trying to put me in my place.
Yeah, now I'm just like, hey, you ain't the only social worker in the house.
I appreciate that. But anyway,
come sit on the couch. Tell me your problems.
How are you feeling today?
The transition from Terry the single to Terry the husband, like, how do you balance that? Like, what was the transition like even for you?
No responsibilities but myself. So that was different. Taking on the responsibilities of being the man of a house and being a father, that's them some big shoes to fill.
So how do you balance that even right now? How do you balance being Terry as just Terry the husband, or Terrence as I like to call you, and then Daddy? How do you balance that?
I don't know. By praying.
Yes, prayer is huge.
I think it's just something that it happens. Like, balance, just you don't plan to balance out your life for real. It's just something that naturally happens. Like,
do you have a process though that you would like, dang, okay, let me move into husband gear since Trey is asleep, or let me do daddy time or daddy gear because Trey is asking for my attention?
Yeah.
And you intentionally have to make those switches.
Yeah, well, depending on the situation, yeah.
If you're getting into a relationship, how have you ever thought, how can you lose yourself?
Have you ever felt like you've lost yourself, like your personal identity in this marriage?
No, if that happens, how do you get it back?
I'm going to give you a little, I guess, excerpt into my life. So me, when I got married, I was so happy. I was ecstatic, like a lot of women, most women would be.
Right.
You know, I got the ring, I got the man, you know, I got everything that I wanted. But what I wasn't expecting to get was not necessarily be depressed, but I literally felt like my total identity of who I was wiped away.
I feel like I had just a little bit, not with the marriage part, but as a mom, that transition has been difficult for me. I think I'm finessing it now. Would you agree? Am I getting better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good at it.
I was bad at first?
No.
No. But could you tell I was struggling?
We both were struggling.
So, but you just said you never felt like you didn't have an identity thing. It was really hard when Trey was first born.
I didn't lose myself, but yeah,
it was very hard when Trey was first born.
You have to find we wasn't parents, so we had to find ourselves as being parents.
Yes. So we had to re-identify who we are.
Yeah.
For sure. The first few months were rough.
And why do I say this? Because I used to be Arian Nicole Taylor, and now I'm Aaron. I used to live in Maryville, Indiana. Now I was living in Dayton, Ohio permanently. I used to have my own apartment. Me and Chris didn't stay together because I liked my space. And now we were in one house together. I used to, call one family my family. Now I have the Paynes and the Aarons. So it was so many moving parts that I had to get used to. And it sounds like it's easy, but it's not. The people who I used to hold near and dear to me, and only rely on them and, sought them, now it's a whole different dynamic. Learning family, learning, the faux pas of that family, it's different. It really is. If I renege in spades, having to hope that I don't get cussed out or cut or something. Or boxed, and that's just like a funny, thing, but there's multiple things, and I felt lost. Yeah. And I say I felt lost for about maybe a year into our marriage.
And identifying is also a big one too. So if you do feel like you've lost yourself, identify it. A lot of people are in denial about a lot of different things. You can't fix what you don't know.
No.
Is an issue. So make sure you identify it. Make sure you're keeping that self-care. Communication is big. Making sure that you're communicating as well with your partner, talking and being yourself.
What we both had to do is realize that even though we are a part of 4 families, her 2, my 2, we're creating a 5th one now. Yeah. And that is our family, yeah. In our household. Now that ruffled a lot of feathers because it makes people uncomfortable having to adjust to children's standards because that's how that's how we were viewed all the way up until we were married. We were single. So the sooner you learn and relearn who you are in a relationship, you're going to be so much better. And talk about the good things. Like, how has it been for you after you feel like you kind of learned through that adjustment period? What have been some of the good side effects for you?
So the good side effects for me is, a new identity, not a less one, not a better one, but a new identity. So that's kind of one of the takeaways. Step by step, brick by brick, we've been moving forward because we, chose to understand how we're evolving as people and, our new likes, dislikes, and new identities. So I think that is the main thing that we wanted to give to you all. And to sum it up,
identify and take care of yourself.
Subscribe, like, hit the bell for the notifications so you know every time that we upload. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
I'd go right to the sky and bring it back to you. I wanna live, I wanna die with you. Just say the word and watch how all your dreams come true.